What is happening, guys? I'm TechSource. Welcome to Setup Wars episode 370. I'm not even kidding when I say this, but we have an interesting episode today. So sit back, relax, and let the Setup Wars begin. Guys, I've been using this Hollyland Lark M2 microphone for a little over 2 years now, and it's been great. It's portable, easy to use, and it sounds amazing. But it's time for an upgrade. This is the Lark Max 2. It has the same super easy setup and portable form factor as before, but with better audio and improved features. For starters, the charging case houses both wireless mics and 2 receivers, one for USB-C type devices and one for the camera, which has a display built in, giving you quick access to some of the mic settings, including volume and its AI noise cancelling feature. This is what it sounds like without the AI noise cancelling feature enabled. And this is what it sounds like with the AI noise cancellation feature enabled. Pretty big difference, right? The mics have a crazy long range of 100 meters and features 32-bit full chain audio transmission. You can clip the mics directly on your shirt or use the included magnets and attach it from the inside. And if you're planning on shooting outdoors, you can use the included wired mics with the built-in windscreen to help prevent wind noise. The ultimate combo comes with everything you see here, plus wireless earphones that allow you to monitor the audio wirelessly. So if you guys are looking to step up your audio game, make sure to check out the Lark Max 2 Ultimate Combo by clicking my link down below. Kicking off the episode is a setup from the land down under, and the owner likes to go by Le Good Sir. He's a man in finance. I also wonder if he's over 6 foot tall, but he built himself a no compromises white themed setup that blends console gaming, music production, coding, and movie nights all into one space. At first glance, it does seem like there's a lot going on, and to some, it might even be cluttered, but I assure you, everything has its place. Now, the display layout is quite interesting. The main screen is a 43-inch Aorus QLED, which he mostly pairs with the PS5, and off to the right is a 32-inch Samsung on an arm that he uses with his MacBook. Everything routes through a 2x6 matrix, so any console or computer can show up on either display. It is a flexible control room for whatever he feels like doing. The whole system sits on an up-down sit-stand desk. He wired it with 2 cable racks and a small army of clips, so nothing tugs when the desk moves. The consoles are all stored on custom-side compartments, which is a clever way to keep the surface clear while still having everything within reach. And obviously clear is certainly a loose definition here. Since he doesn't use his peripherals for gaming that often, they are stashed on a slide-out drawer. He went with the RK84 and the Logitech G502X Plus mouse. I'm actually digging the mousepad here, as it's an actual Persian rug which adds character and ties the white theme together. He does love music, more specifically rap and hip-hop. This is made obvious from the album covers on the wall, which he placed symmetrically and traced with light strips. The fact that he has 4 Rokit 5 limited edition speakers are also a bit of a giveaway that my man likes his music. Now, I already mentioned the consoles, but this room is a PlayStation museum. He owns 2 PS5s for some reason, a PS4, PS3, PS2 in white, Japanese editions, and even the PSX that plays both the PS1 and the PS2 discs. Of course, we can't leave Microsoft out. He does have an Xbox Series S with a painted grille, a custom mini arcade, and a bunch of rare controllers. He apparently swapped every cable he could for white to keep the color scheme consistent. That makes me very, very proud. Besides the consoles, he does have a MacBook and a PC, but unfortunately the latter just serves as a display piece. It features an i7 with an RTX 2060 from back in 2019 that simply died on him out of the blue. It's now a reminder of why he prefers console gaming, or I guess in this case, a MacBook. I'm sorry, are you really just keeping that GPU to remind you that consoles are better than PCs? I'm so confused. Now obviously there is a lot packed into this space, and he says it himself as well. But I feel like everything has its own place. He did his best to organize it as much as he could given the limited space he has. He is planning to move soon though, so I'm excited to see the next version when he has more room to breathe. I do want to go on the record real quick and just say that within the sea of lookalike and cookie cutter setups we've seen on the show, This one stands out the most due to its very unique and peculiar style. And I just want to say it's very refreshing. So thank you, good sir, for coming on the show. Up next is Justin, who some of you might know as Fallen Foe. He's a content creator, and chances are you've probably seen this setup pop up in your feed once or twice. The photo quality, the symmetry, god damn! Now we're talking, baby. Now we're talking. He's actually built 9 setups over the last 5 years and finally landed on this iteration that brings all his favorite gear together for maximum productivity. 9 setups in the past 5 years? This guy is making even me look like an amateur. So we've got dual displays going on here. A Samsung G9 as the primary and a 34-inch Alienware as the overhead, sandwiched by JBL speakers on Kanto stands. This is for my voice. Bro, that's 2 already. I gotta start taking these blackcurrant pastels during my setup wars because I lose my voice very quickly. The attention to detail with the wood tones is immaculate. The walnut desk, monitor riser, PC riser, and wall shelf all match perfectly. And even the wrist rest, which is the perfect size for his KBD Tofu 2.0 keyboard. He does have a couple of extra boards displayed as well, which I assume are his custom builds he wanted to show off. Judging by the 2 Stream Decks, this is very much an editing first, gaming second battle station. To maximize both tasks, he's actually using both a MacBook Pro and a beast of a PC. We have a hardline custom loop built inside the Lian O11D Evo, packed with an i9-13900K, RTX 4090, 128 gigs of Corsair DDR5, and 12 freaking terabytes of storage. I gotta say, the choice to go with the dark coolant inside a white theme build was the right move. The contrast is just incredible. Now personally, I do think a 16-pin Hydrus cable with subtle RGB would look much cleaner in the PC and contribute to the minimalistic theme you were going for. However, if you dig the cable look, then that is cool too. You honestly can't go wrong with either route. Cable management is simply pristine. Every wire is routed through raceways with nothing visible from the front, aside from the headphone cable underneath the desk. Gorgeous work, Justin. Thank you for finally coming on the show. Setup number 3 is a perfect example of what you can do in limited spaces. It belongs to Eustace, a 14-year-old student from Germany who uses it mainly for gaming and movie nights. The layout is straightforward and calm. A single Samsung Odyssey G9 fills the center, and the desk is clutter-free with only the essentials. A Rocat pair of peripherals and a Fifine K68 on a boom arm to the left. There are no speakers, unfortunately, so he sticks to the headphones when it comes to audio. Cable management, however, is well thought out. Everything underneath the desk is bundled and routed into the corner, then up through a cable channel that blends into the 3D wall panels before meeting the PC on the shelf. Very nicely executed. The system itself lives in a John's Boat case and packs an i5 12600KF with an Asus RTX 3060. More than enough for Minecraft, Zelda, COD, Fortnite, and whatever else he throws at it. Personal touches like the Lego bonsai, the pegboard with the controller, and the custom beach shelf he made with his grandpa gives the room personality without breaking the minimalistic vibe. While I'm not exactly against covering the whole wall with those 3D art panels, it would have been nice to see more contrast. Throwing in black items against a black backdrop makes them blend in, and if that's the look you're going for, then by all means stick with it. But personally, I would have gone with a gray or even a navy blue pegboard to give a little bit of a pop against the backdrop. But nonetheless, this is a very cozy setup, Eustace. Thank you for sending this in. For the first time in Setup Wars history, ladies and gents, we have traveled back to the 90s. Behold, peak pain and peak nostalgia. Feast your eyes on the beige Dell Dimension Tower, powerful enough to run Minesweeper in 720p 30 FPS. We've also got a 17-inch Acer monitor running a crispy 640 by 480 resolution, a Dell Quiet Key that's somehow louder than modern keys, and the legendary Microsoft IntelliMouse gliding on a cutting mat? Let's be real, the only thing Liam will be cutting at the setup is cheese, because this setup stinks. Stinks of cutting edge technology, that is, and attracting the ladies. Or I should say, cougars. I see you, Liam. I see you. The audio is powered by Sound Blaster Live. Not only is this setup a blast from the past, but also the future. Liam can detect oncoming phone calls with those speakers powered by dark magic. This one is definitely for the history books, ladies and gents, something where storage was measured once in megabytes. To save your game, simply insert disk 7 of 12. Liam, this was beautiful. Thank you for the little trip down memory lane, and thank you for coming on the show. Okay, the real setup number 4 belongs to Thanos' distant stepbrother, Manos, who's a student from Greece. Okay, what the... That was cringe. So Manos is a student from Greece, and I just have one question. Why are the keyboard and mouse socially distancing? It's been 5 years, my guy. Alright, jokes aside, spacing them out is better than cramming them together with very little mouse space, and the desk is big enough to pull it off, so I guess it's fine. Manos is a 19-year-old student who games with the boys and chills with movies and shows in his downtime. The centerpiece is a single 27-inch LG Ultra Gear mounted to a custom headboard. He actually built the whole thing himself. We have an IKEA slab cut to size for his desk and a matching headboard set about 2 centimeters off the wall. The desk is anchored with 2 corner brackets and an open Alex unit that doubles as storage for the subwoofer and hides the cables. Very clean solution. Honestly, the vibe is spot on. He ran 2 5-meter LED strips, one behind the headboard for backlighting and one along the left wall. He's got a full set of Razer peripherals and even a Razer mic on a boom arm. The only traitors to the Razer gang are the Logitech Z553 speakers. Cable management is also well thought out. Raceways carry the wires underneath the desk towards the back of the headboard, and the power bricks are in a storage box screwed underneath the desk above the PC. He's saying it's an older house, and even though it's got its quirks, he kept things tight and tidy. The PC sits in a Corsair chassis with an i7-11900K and an RTX 3070 Ti. You know, it's a simple, cozy, and well-executed space with great ambiance. Efaristo Manos, thank you for entering. Time travel isn't done yet for this episode, ladies and gents. After the 90s, we're winding further back to this retro-futuristic lab from the 50s and 60s. Terry is the scientist that made it, and he's an associate director in IT and a certified maker of wild things. He took upon himself to make an extension of his mid-20th century home and brought together a working 1950s TV, retro arcade games, and a freaking Lost in Space B9 robot that he built and can control from his laptop. But that is barely just scratching the surface. He also owns a chopper droid, and yes, a life-size Mars Attacks invader that would give the creeps to anyone who tries to look inside through the window. For all we know, this might be an elaborate plan to deter future home burglars. You know, to say this room is fascinating would be simply an understatement. The desk itself is from the 60s, so we decided to base the whole setup and room around it. The monitors being on articulating mounts do offset this vibe though. They are 2 22-inch Scepter displays. However, like I always say, I'm not entirely sold on the layout. With the bezels being dead center, you constantly have to look to the side, which, you know, on its own isn't a bad thing, but I personally would like to have the middle of the screen in the middle of my gaze, if that makes sense. But again, personal preference. The peripherals of choice are a Razer keyboard with a Nintendo controller wrist rest and a pink Daru mouse. It matches the pink chair that his daughter gave him, and he's rocking it like a real man. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise, Terry. Pink is a gorgeous color. I'm sure Shayla can agree.
Pink is the best.
Pink is the best. For audio, we've got SteelSeries Arena 7 speakers and the JLab Retro headphones on a wood stand. Most old desks typically have that back panel, so cable management can be hidden out of sight and look spotless from the front. The machine pushing those pixels is underneath the monitor riser, and it's a Dell Inspiron 16 wrapped like a cool little retro boombox. He doesn't have a custom PC just yet, as the space is a little limited. However, Terry is planning his first build when the layout allows. I do have to just say that this entire room is a nostalgia-charged creativity factory with a lot of character. What a fantastic setup to wrap up today's episode. Thank you, Terry, for blessing our eyeballs. As always, let me know in the comment section which of these setups was your absolute favorite. If you guys are still enjoying the show, feel free to drop a like before you head out to show your support. I love you, beautiful nose hairs, and I will see you in the next one.